Hi, this is Joe Chambers. Welcome to Musicians Hall of Fame Backstage, the Vault Series. Today's interview was shot back in January of 2006 in Santa Monica, California. I met J.R., John Robinson, in Palisades Park, right there overlooking the ocean, and we talked about how, I guess if there was a successor to Hal Blaine, perhaps with the Wrecking Crew, J.R. would have been the follow-up to Hal. He played on tons and tons of hit records. Michael Jackson, Stevie Winwood, and so forth. It goes across the board. Hope you enjoy it. If you do, be sure to hit like, subscribe, and the notification bell so you don't miss any of our new content. Once again, LA session drummer, J.R. Robinson. What was your first record that you heard on the radio?
That's a good question. It was the Rufus solo record without Shaka. I think it was a song called Bet My Dreams, which was on a record in 1978-9 on ABC Dunhill called Numbers, which never got released on CD. And I just actually burned that on vinyl. I've started vinyl night again. It's very good. And I remember driving around my old Camaro here in Los Angeles, and there was only certain stations that would play Rufus anyway, so driving around, and finally there it was. And it was the first time I had ever heard myself on the radio, and it was an AM radio, man. Mm-hmm. Oh no, I think it was FM. It had to have been FM. And I had to stop the car. I stopped the car and pulled over. So it was an experience that I'll never forget. Well, the Rufus thing, it died a ugly death in a sense because the band was peaking when I joined the band, and I was a little distraught about that because I always liked the band from the beginning. Infancy days, I saw them on in concert on ABC. It was Don Kirshner or whatever it was, and I said, man, I should be in this band. And sure enough, I got in the band. So we ended up doing the solo record, and then we got back together, signed to MCA. Shaka came back and did a record, didn't do anything, called Camouflage, and then Quincy Jones got back involved with us. Now, I became his drummer before that, and started working right after the Numbers record on Off the Wall. But Quincy opted to be the producer of a record called Master Jam, which went platinum, and I had a song on there. And that was a great record, and that's kind of where it was a really good peak for us. So that happened, and then I started doing session work after that. Then I did Off the Wall, and once Off the Wall hit, that changed again. I think that record solely changed the music industry. Thriller was just an aftermath of Off the Wall. Thriller was huge because of the hype from Off the Wall. But Off the Wall was a legit rock and roll record that it was just like this band, man, and it was great. And there wasn't a lot of gimmicks in it. It was all real stuff. So once that record hit, and that went 5 million in the first 2 weeks. Once that record hit, then people would call, like the phone's ringing off the wall. So it was Diana Ross and then David Lee Roth and I hooked up with Glenn Frey. So I joined when the Eagles broke up. I joined the Glenn Frey band and went out for about a year.
All good stuff.
It was all good.
But you missed the Thriller album, though.
I was scheduled and booked, and that was a tough decision to make. Thriller being the #1 selling record of all time, next to We Are the World single, which I did do. So I wasn't concerned with numbers or money. I was concerned with, there was an opportunity that presented itself to play in a rock band that I really dug the music. And Glenn and Don's music is everlasting, and I had an opportunity to take over Don's parts. So I chose to do the Glenn Frey band. I started working for Warner Brothers a lot, and I got to work for Ted Templeman. And I've always admired the Warner's original staff producers because they came up with so much hip stuff, man. And so I find out David Lee Roth is departing, and they want to do this record. And I get a call from Ted, and he goes, "We're going to recut Louis Prima's Just a Gigolo." I'm going, It's a brilliant idea. I mean, this is an idea that everybody should have, an idea this hip. So he goes, we want you to go to New York. Beautiful, man. What do you need? I need my drum tech, and we gotta fly my drums out. So we go out there. I find out it's Edgar Winter, who's it, Willie Weeks, to cut something that hip and yet have it come from a voice of rock. And the average Joe is playing it. It was just like kind of melded all these worlds. It was an honor to be able to have that.
I don't know. It's hard to say it's equal to, but gosh dang, that was a great recut of California Girls. Man.
It was very well. Who was singing backgrounds?
Beach Boys, right?
It was Brian and Christopher Cross. So that was quite good. Plus, there's a tune on there. I'm starting Vinyl Night again. Vinyl Night's happening. I think I'm going to have a TV show called Vinyl Night, but and maybe we'll tune that in. But there's a song on there called Easy Street. It's like a shuffle, or it's like a 12/8 vibe. Very, very hip tune. And Dave, a lot of people. Dave's a great singer.
Now, did you go on the road with him?
Thanks for segueing that. I had two little boys in my past life at that time, and there was a considerable discussion talked about me going out with him for a year, and he asked me to go, and I chose not to go. The Quincy stuff sticks out in my mind. The one day when Ed Eckstein was Quincy's right-hand man, Billy Eckstein's son. Ed Eckstein used to help run the Quincy Jones Enterprises. We're listening to the Rufus Shaka songs on my car and stuff, and Ed goes, "So Jared, what are you doing? What are you doing next week?" I go, "Well, we're doing this, and you got a day open?" I go, "Yeah, I got Thursday." He goes, "Would you want to come down and play on this Michael Jackson record?" I go, "Well, yeah." He goes, "Here, let me get you." He puts a cassette in. We listen. He goes, "Well, what do you think of that?" He goes, "What do you think?" And I go, "Well, I can make his better." He goes, "Well, all right, why don't you come in around 11? So I had the drum set, and this is like a big session, except I'm the only one there. And Bruce Swedien, the engineer, and Quincy. And Michael was not there. So they set it up, and the first song was Carol Bear Sager wrote, "It's the Falling in Love." It's a B-side. So it's kind of a pop tune. And I hear the click, blow it down. They go, "All right, let's do the next tune." So it was Paul McCartney's Girlfriends, B-side. Blow it down. I see silence in the control room. And I go, "Oh, well, I hope they really, liked it." And I knew I did good. They push down and they go, "What are you doing Monday?" And that was it. And they go, why don't you come back and record with the rhythm section? I go, "All right." Monday, 11 a.m. was Don't Stop Till You Get Enough. And then the next week, brought the Rufus rhythm section in and did Rock With You. Rock With You, if I'm not mistaken, is Michael's largest single of all time. And that was the Rufus Band.
Wow.
And great song, written by Rod Temperton. So that sticks out as good. Another good record was in New York at Unique. I was in New York doing a George Benson record with Tommy LaPuma. And I'm hanging in New York, and I'm having a good time, and I had a day off. And so I get a call in my hotel from Russ Titleman. And because I'd worked with Russ with the Rufus live record, and Russ did Clapton and stuff. And Russ goes, "Hey, Jared, what are you doing tomorrow?" I go, "Nothing, I got a day off." "Why don't you come down to the studio and listen to these Steve Winwood records?" Same story. So I go down and listen. And the first thing they play me is Higher Love, no vocals, no drums, no background vocals. Nile Rodgers is playing guitar, Steve Winwood's playing a synth bass, and Jimmy Braylauer has a kind of a mid-timbered drum perk loop, not bottom-oriented like I had it. So, and then he's playing me a second. I go, stop. I got to play on that tune. I have to play on that tune. So I go, well, I had a day off or so, or I said, no, I'll extend. And I had my drum set out from LA. So we had my drums brought over from Clinton over to Unique. It's where I met Tom Lord Alge. And, The World Gets Smaller. And I cut Higher Love, and then I ended up cutting 4 other songs on that record. Finer Things and Back in the High Life Again, and 2 other ones. But that record,
That was huge.
I think that record won 8 Grammys, like with Best Sound and Best Single and Best Album, and that was a good one. That was a good one.